I think I'll probably try flying without that air protector after a time. So it's time for another hike up to Little Black to see how the new lightweight version of the Easiness 3 harness performs. This is the old air scoop protector portion of the harness in place, and then removing that, we just have this simple covering over the split leg harness portion. So hiking up to the lower launch, Little Black, I kind of decided to do something a little different. Here I am, the lower launch, but I'm going to hike up this little trail here to the middle launch. It's the 500 launch. I've never flown from here. There is a higher launch, but that is a P4 launch, and a lot of rotor activity at the launch site. So not going to do that because, one, I'm not a P4, and I'm not an idiot to do it alone by myself first time around. You can see here again the difference of the harness with the protector and then without the protector. Much more compact and a little lighter too. You basically have the split leg harness exposed on the back side here, and by simply putting in that covering, basically just protecting that area. That's what all that covering is for, just a protection. You get a little better view here. Again, very thin little covering, protecting that split leg portion. So here's a view from the middle launch, also called the 500 launch. And to the right there and over that crest is the lower launch. And the middle launch is also rocky, weedy, some turbulence coming over that vegetation there, just more narrow. So let's go flying and see how this new harness works. So the wind today was pretty much straight up the hill, maybe a little bit north. Some gusts maybe to 11, 12 miles an hour at the most. It was about 8 to 10, but a little bit of turbulence coming over that hill. It would kind of rock that wing around. I get a little collapse here and there in the tips, but kind of steadied it a bit. Everything seemed to be fine. Again, those rocks are that you really aren't looking at the ground. You could really trip over the gravel and the rock, so just got to tread lightly. Anyway, seemed to be ready to fly, and we're taking off, and right in front of me is a narrow little alleyway. And that's what you want to aim for, so you don't hit any bushes on the way out. I immediately got some lift right in this area, combination of gusts and maybe some thermals rolling up. The one thing I noticed right off the bat, and again, it's hard to say in any one day, in any one condition, is that I'm really feeling that wing, that harness. Again, I think a little bit of a ballast there with that airbag protector and the scoops. So now I'm just basically feeling everything. That can be good and bad, but it felt pretty good. It was a little rocky day. Again, there's the lower launch as I'm flying over it now. I try to get some thermals. I'm just getting used to this harness, and again, it's a little bit disconcerting in the sense that I'm feeling a lot more of what's going on, especially with the Pi2 wing. And again, Little Black can get a little rowdy, a little rocky up there. Unfortunately, as I'm trying to get some lift, some thermals, I hit a lot of sink also. So my brain is a little bit on overload with the new harness configuration, and I think I'm going to be going down now. I was up for about 10 or 15 minutes.
Oh man.
Okay, I guess that kind of says it all. New launch was great. I really liked launching from there. But with the combination of a very high feedback harness and wing,
Well,
a little bit of a bumpy, rowdy condition, not dangerous, just not a lot of fun. Happy to be on the ground, but wait, there is more. So a few days later, I thought, well, what better place to get some consistent flying and really check out this harness again at Torrey Pines, and it's a gusty day. But that's all right. It's kind of right at the edge of what I'd feel comfortable, or I should say any more, and I might start to feel a little mildly uncomfortable. But I would say it's around 12 knots, 11 to 12, gusts to 14, 15. Yeah, so it's not supposed to get any worse. And if it does, I can always go to the beach. So let's see how the harness performs in some nice, smooth, yet windy coastal conditions. So launching was not bad at all, and I'm kind of surprised there weren't more people out. Tandems haven't really started to take hold yet. I'm sure there'll be tandems coming up very shortly. I'll get crowded up there. Some students are out kiting, but yeah, maybe a little windy for students who are just starting out, and I know what that's all about. But a beautiful day to just get up, and definitely the harness in these conditions was wonderful. Certainly Little Black was giving me a lot of bump, a lot of rowdy, turbulent air, and very different here on the coast. I'm using the Epsilon 9 wing. One is that I really enjoy flying this, and also in very windy conditions, I'm much more comfortable launching this wing. It soars a little bit nicer, and overall, just a real nice day to get used to this harness. So it's a beautiful day to soar, not crowded up there at all. Windy day, but very smooth, not going anywhere very quickly, but made it all the way south to the Scripps Pier and back up north again. So a nice day, and certainly the harness in these conditions was just perfect. So as I made my way back to the landing area, I certainly made sure there was really nobody there launching, no tandems, no wings up. So everything was fine, but a little bit of my rush showed here. This is the line I'm taking, and it really is not where I should be. Rather, I should be more where this green line is. So coming in at a different angle, then landing at that red circle area. And I want to stay in an area that doesn't have the Venturi effect, which is behind this little rise. So here I am way too close to this concession area where the people eat, have lunch, and one of the instructors came out and asked me to move away from this area, and I don't blame him. Really my boo-boo here. So instead of going straight ahead and landing in the spot I had chosen, I actually went back to my right, and behind that little rise, you can see that little trail, and I kind of land where you get that Venturi effect. Now on a day like today, not a huge deal, but if it was really windy, any windier, then I could start to actually fly backwards and perhaps not get down the way I'd like to. So lesson learned here. And again, just rusty. I haven't been to Torrey in a little while, and it's amazing. Now, a couple of years ago, I did come in this area, and I did go a little bit backwards. I was able to kill the wing just fine. Everything was great, but again, this is something you have to watch at Torrey because it can get windy. I'll post in a link below a website that I came across that the really instructor I've come to really enjoy watching on YouTube. And he does demonstrate a pretty unique way to handle a very windy approach, something you don't want to choose to get into, but if for some reason the wind came up like a Torrey, it's a technique that you could try. I really thought it was quite interesting. So what are my impressions of the Easiness 3 harness without that scoop air protector. Well, after flying Little Black and then now flying at Torrey, I definitely will use the harness without that scoop protector, probably in light days at Torrey along with my Pi2 wing. Perhaps as a hike and fly wing when conditions are calm, such as Little Black, when I know it's going to be pretty quick, or when I think I might have to hike up from the beach at Torrey, which I have been known to do several times. With that, I'll just leave it the way it is. It's great, and I'll look forward to that new harness, which I hope I'm going to get in the mid-April timeframe. So that's it for now, and thanks for watching. And if you have any questions, just post them down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care and safe flying.